Power encased in ice. Should be where we learn the master plan. The original source. I was wondering where the library was. This stone is inscribed with the writing in the common tongue. It says, "If it is you who reads these words, NWN, then I beg you, go no further. I could not bring myself to destroy these secrets I have discovered, but I beg you, avert your eyes from them. Leave this place and do not return. Follow the instructions I have left for you outside these cold walls. That is the path of salvation. Here there is only madness and destruction. Please trust me, for upon this rests the fate of all. Evenorn Sithan Theodol." Gigantic chamber, whose walls are stacked with bookshelves reaching up to the vaulted ceiling 50 meters above your head. Air is cold and still as the grave. Grave. I don't expect a fight here, but might as well prepare for one. Renorn is frozen solid, a statue made of ice. Might have to fight him. What's the master plan? This book is written in ancient Herezar, and you cannot understand any of its words. There are no pictures of sketches of any kind, no clues as to what is written on here. We want some kind of a book that looks a little bit different. Maybe not a book at all. I'm guessing it's the statue at the center. That's the important thing. Why even have the bookcases be interactable if you're not gonna put anything meaningful in them? It's not like I'm not gonna take your word for it that the books are Herezar books and you can't read them. Just a waste of time. Ooh, is that a... okay. Here in the center of the room is Lord Evernorn himself. He's frozen as a statue of ice. I don't get it. What exactly was I supposed to learn here? Seems like a portal. Guess we're gonna go through the books again. Find out what exactly am I supposed to understand here. I don't want to look info on every fucking book. Do I need to unfreeze the son of a bitch or something? I need to dream here. That might be a thing to try first. It would take less time. I interact with this event. You draw forth a memory. Evanorn's eyes stare blankly into space, unaware of your presence. Lord Evanorn? He appears to be making notes in a notebook, muttering quietly to himself. 4th day of Uithras, 1424. Ritzelvane. I had a very strange dream last night. In the dream I met that woman again, Ania Melimian, the one who had come to me in search of Uther Palandras, one who found the Lord's tomb atop the Shattered Peaks. In the dream she told me that we have entered a century of sorrow, the final century of this world. I am not in the habit of taking dreams literally, for they are often full of metaphors, but this one was quite as silly. The century of sorrow. I have heard this phrase before. It was described in the prophecies of Broknimir, according to the legendary stonecutter. As the world begins to die, the sun shall wither and birds shall fall from the sky. Trees shall lose their breath and water turns to dust, and the dead shall rise from their graves to wage war against the living. Some of these omens have indeed been observed, and I fear the others are coming. Indeed, that would be the explanation for what we have seen and heard. Have we truly entered this century of sorrow? According to Ania, this all was set in motion by the people known as the Herezars, pilgrims of Imreth Arduin. According to her, they have done this in order to defeat fate herself. They seek to destroy the world to defeat fate. I must research this matter. More memories. 18th day of Gelern, 1426. The omens can no longer be ignored. The druidess Rithin Litnerin says there is a corruption in the forest that draws life from the trees. The astrologers of Unen There claim that the sun has begun to wither, and now the final news. As prophesied, an army of undead rises in the south and has begun its march toward our lands. It is no longer be denied. The century of sorrow is upon us. It is just like Ania has said. I must redouble my research. If Ania is right, she has been about everything else, and the Herezars are behind all of this. Perhaps I should make a journey to Selengtheriel. The scholars there may know something I have missed. I shall leave within the week. Evanor is walking in a park listening to the sound of birds. Seventh day of Tapalon, 1430. I have learned all I can from books and old records. It's time now to venture north in search of ancient Herezar. That is where the answers will be found. I shall set off in 10 days. I have all the clues I need. Skernfell, Dragonscar Ridge, the frozen wastes. I'm certain the ruins are still there. I shall find them, so help me Corellon, and within I shall find the answers. You feel a chill wind blowing across the room. So long I've been searching, alone in this frozen emptiness. I can keep the cold away through magic, but there is no power that can banish this terrible loneliness. Is there still a world out there that awaits its salvation? Or is this endless wasteland all that remains? I cannot recall the sound of the forest canopy stirring in the wind, or a stream babbling over rocks to the accompaniment of crickets. Was that all just a dream? Have I finally awakened only to see the power of truth? Seventh day of Servan, 1438. At last I have found it. After 7 long years of searching, 7 long years of wandering through the frozen wasteland, at last I have found it. So many times I had nearly given up hope. The emptiness of these endless fields chills both my body and my soul. So many times this merciless desolation threatened to draw all hope from my heart. So many times I had nearly succumbed to hallucination or to madness. But then, at last, on the clearest and coldest of days, I simply stumbled upon it. An exquisite carved column frozen in ice for thousands of years, and finally uncovered by the eternal wind. To think that a moment earlier I could have turned and passed just meters from it. But I did not. I found it and immediately knew it for what it was. An artifact of ancient Arduin Empire, a signpost in the wasteland, and soon I discovered more. Ancient spires reaching out from the frozen plain, nameless statues standing guard over memories lost in time. And after another 4 weeks of exploration, I found the remnant of a wall encased in ice, crushed by the pressure of 1,000 years to produce a fissure large enough for a man to pass through. Melting the ice required but minor magic, and soon I could peer within the passage leading downward. And there, within the cavern, I saw the ancient ruins of Imreth Arduin, the dreaming city. The prize I had been seeking for nearly 15 years. At last I have found it. Ninth day of Erelvanir, 1438. Imreth Arduin. Today I entered the great tower. It appears to once have been a magnificent center of learning, one that would even put the grand university of Zelen Theril to shame. It is filled with literally thousands of books, and it would take a lifetime, an elven lifetime, to read them all. Given my still weak grasp of ancient heresy texts, I cannot even begin such a project. However, I have sampled some of them in an effort to gather an inkling of what is contained therein. So far it all seems to be about history. But whose? How many books are there? Twenty-ninth day of Erelvanir, 1438. Imreth Arduin. It is all about history, all of it. Bookshelves stacked 50 meters to the ceiling, each packed with thousands of books, each book filled with pages and countless pages describing a veritable eternity of events. I have spent the last 3 weeks in a daze learning about the rise and fall of civilizations of which I have never heard, races never before described. It is staggering. Is all of this work of fiction? A magnificent creative undertaking of a scale never before or since attempted? Or is it something even more awe-inspiring? Can it all be true? If so, if this is true, then the world is much older than anyone has ever dreamed. Not the 50 millennia of Elvendom, but a million years of history. But if this is true, then how did the Herezars learn of it all? Never before in my lifetime have I felt so humbled. 13th day of Teifalan, 1438. According to the Vizier Gulferius, there is a veil which forever keeps us ignorant of the reality of creation. That veil is the manner in which we perceive time. We see time passing always from past to future, and thus perceive only one half of the causal structure that constructs reality. We see causes precede effects, but fail to see the inverse, and that is what creates the illusion that we possess free will. But the Herezars looked deeper. They peered into the lattice of logic which keeps all objects and events in place. They observed the local symmetries of history and they extrapolated toward a larger global structure. That is the cage they found, the betrayal at the very heart of existence itself, and it drove them to madness. 27th day of Teifalan, 1438. I have read in the archives of Xanthia. There is a way, a crack within the stone from which all is carved. 3,000 moons shall pass their year through the skies, and then a moment shall come, a moment beyond which there is nothing. No sight has ever peered beyond it, no history has ever determined it. It is a moment consistent with two logics, that the eternal slavery and that of transient freedom, and at that moment a choice can be made. A choice which redefines the past as well as the future, a choice which redefines even itself. From that fountain shall all of nature flow. There is a way. I am certain of I am not certain of what this passage means, but it seems central to the Herezar plan. I think they believe that a choice made far in their future will change the very nature of existence, redefining even the past. Is this how they hope to defeat fate? Seventeenth day of Sirvan, 1438. Although I still have not discovered the means to enter the weave, I believe I have learned where it leads. It leads to the machine of the gates, a machine whose sole purpose is to defeat fate. How the Herezars sought to do this is beyond me, but it is clear that they were quite confident that it could be done. It seems to have something to do with the nature of the balance that creates the world. The architectural drawings of Nethzakar depict a wheel with 8 spokes, each marked with the symbols of the prime elements. These include the well-known physical elements of earth, air, water, and fire, as well as the spiritual elements of life and death. The final two are the elements of time, past and future. At the ends of each spoke there appears to be some kind of portal, presumably leading to a corresponding plane of existence. And at the center there is a place of convergence. I speculate that to activate the machine, one must collect samples of each of the 8 elemental essences and bring them together in the center. But how would that cause fate to be defeated? And what does this all have to do with the Century of Sorrow? 21st day of Servan, 1438. The construction of the great machine was clearly only a part of the Herezar plan. As far as I can tell, they never even activated it. Indeed, its builders seem to have entirely abandoned the city as soon as the project was completed. Perhaps something was missing, some ingredient that they had to obtain before setting their plan into motion. But what? I must study this further. Ninth day of Ulthras, 1439. I was right. The purpose of the machine is to restore balance to the world, to create a new Pentaract. That is why they built it, and that is why they abandoned it immediately after completing. Because to create a new Pentaract, they first had to destroy the old one, and doing that required something impossible. To destroy the Pentaract, they had to obtain a piece of Lor's hammer, the very tool with which the Creator God forged the universe, and because it is an object that made existence, it is not part of existence. So how do you obtain that which does not exist? How do you obtain that which does not exist? By tricking the laws of existence itself, by violating the very essence of causality, which enforces the permanence and conservation of matter. That is how they did it. They set up a chain of events such that a sliver of Lor's hammer would be passed backwards through time. This was the Unmaker's purpose, to receive the scepter of Lore through a lucid prophetic dream, use it to shatter the Pentaract, and then, 100 years later, return it to oblivion by handing it back into... Suddenly he stops writing and his face turns white. He whispers to himself, "Oh, gods, now I understand. That is how the balance between the past and the future is to be restored. Of course, the answer was there before my eyes from the beginning. She is the key, the Unmaker. She must enter into a lucid dream, meet her former self, and lie to her. She must lie to herself about the wellspring and trick herself into starting the century of sorrow. That must be the answer. It is all falling into place. That is how the final link will be remade. Link between the past and the future. The Unmaker is the key. Ah, that poor woman." But what's the Herezar's plan? 25th day of Uthras, 1439. No, it still does not make sense to me. What is the point of destroying the Pentaract if a new one was to be created? Did the Herezars believe that by doing so they would defeat fate? And why the 100 years of sorrow? If it was their plan to open a tear into the fabric of reality, and then just close it again, then why wait for 100 years while the world falls into ruin? Why set into motion so much suffering? Was it because 100 years of suffering was necessary in order for fate to die? No, that does not seem right. No, there's a deeper logic here. I'm certain. There is something that still eludes me. Second day of Adenvale, 1439. No, it does not make sense. If Ania lies to her former self, then fate would win. If the Unmaker does this, then all that has been foreseen shall come to pass. Every prophecy would be fulfilled. Is that not the very essence of destiny? If the Herezars wanted to defeat fate... He resumes writing. If they wanted to defeat fate,
then they would want to violate the prophecy. They would want that which was destined to be denied. They would want her to.
He stops writing and puts his hand to his mouth, eyes wide with terror.
Choice. Free will. That is their plan. To give her a choice. A choice to save the world by restoring the balance, or. That is the answer. They didn't want her to save the world. They wanted her to destroy it. To freely allow the world to fall apart into oblivion. That is how fate would be defeated. Creation of a new Penteract was never part of the plan. No, they built the machine only to make the choice possible. But the choice they want her to make is, oh merciful Corellan, she is going to let the world die. That is what they wanted all along. If the Unmaker defies fate, then it will never have existed, nor in the future, nor in the past. That is how a mortal woman would triumph over fate, and bestow upon all who have lived the greatest gift of all, free will. The world will end, but all of history will be freed. All of those magnificent eons of history, all the struggles and the sacrifices, they will all be redefined. They will all have been free and full of meaning. Not a mere tapestry, not just a carving in stone. That is what they wanted. To sacrifice the future in order to free the past. Only now do I understand the ancient words of Cynthia. We are merely threads in a great eternal tapestry forever entangled between our past and our future. Or are we the weavers whose will creates history, who bring it all into a transient but glorious existence? The Unmaker's choice shall be the answer.
Now we know. But how would I make the choice literally? I mean, let's say I decide to not to restore the balance. How do I proceed with that line of things? Do I just not play the game further anymore? There has to be a way to implement the choice in the actual game. Uh, I just assume that's the last memory.
Only now do I truly understand what they have done. Oh, that poor woman. Such a merciless burden they have placed upon her shoulders. Such a monstrous choice. No one should be forced to carry such weight. Not even a god. The lives of millions, the fate of all. That is the reason behind the century of sorrow, I'm certain. If it had been a day, then the choice would have been easy. But this 100 years of suffering, this horror, can anyone really choose to be its cause? And yet, a choice must be made. That is why they built their machine. To make both options possible, so that the choice is real. How monstrous. She cannot hide from it. To have the power is to carry its burden. There is no turning away. But which choice will she make? What shall be the nature of this world? What choice would I make, were I in her place? Such a glorious history, so many civilizations rising and falling again, like waves upon a shore. Such an uncounted number of beings, both wondrous and foul, struggling for shelter in this hostile universe, and each of them, as it cries out in pain upon its inevitable death, has only one dying wish: that its brief existence had some meaning. No mortal can appreciate this in its entirety. Such magnitude is even beyond the gods. The debt we owe to our ancestors. How magnificent it would be to give them the gift of free will, but can anything justify such a price? If only they had never learned the truth, only they had not peered behind the veil that shrouds our perceptions. Some knowledge is best unknown. A chain unfelt does not fetter the heart. Blessed are those who cannot see. How I wish I could return to be one of them again. How terrible is wisdom when it brings no profit to the wise. The balance must be restored in end. All of our ideals and ambitions, all of our knowledge and art, they are irrelevant. The noblest wills of kings and mortals submit to that prime desire we share with the basis of creatures: survival. Without that, there is nothing. Without a future, there is no past. Even freedom is not worth the price. Balance must be restored. I'll help her, even if she fails to understand. I will lift the burden from her shoulders and place it upon mine. Survival, that is the choice. It is all that matters. It is clear now what I must do. I must lie to her. I must convince her that by restoring the balance between the elements, she will not only save the world, but defeat fate as well. I must take the choice away. I must take away the choice, for I cannot know what choice she would make. I cannot allow the risk. If she saw the glory of history, the magnificence of all of the events chronicled here, she might falter. I myself have had my doubts. The debt we owe to our ancestors is beyond comprehension, and it would be a magnificent act to give them the gift of free will, to redefine existence and banish the faith from it. But the price is too high, the sacrifice too great. Whatever future still remains deserves its existence as well. The balance must be restored. What is destined cannot be denied. She does not need to know the truth. She does not need to understand the true purpose of this place. Let her believe that restoring the balance is the only option. Let her be free of this burden. I will leave for her a set of notes, carefully selected from among my records. They will tell only part of the truth, only instructions on how the balance is to be restored. She will believe them, trusting in the wisdom of the kindly old Evanor.
Whispers to himself.
Forgive me, Ania. Even I have deceived you. I will hide these notes just outside the walls of the lower city. I will mark their location with a glyph. Ania will find them, and she will follow their instructions. For if not, then all of our hopes are lost.
Stops then and looks around.
But what of this place? What if she finds this place and sees these treasures? What if she learns to understand the truth of the Herezar plan? What if she decides, no, I cannot allow this, but to destroy such knowledge? Can I set these wonders aflame? I will encase this tower with a mountain of ice. I will freeze it for 1,000 years. Sapphira's cage of winter. That is the spell. Without the counterspell, no flame can melt this cage. No pick can shatter its walls. Only with time will the ice fall away to reveal these treasures to the world once again. But by then, the Unmaker will have come and gone, and she shall never know the truth.
This time Evanor is not writing in his notebooks. He is carefully tearing specific pages from his notebooks and binding them within a leather case. Carefully he buries the case at the feet of a stone statue and inscribes a glyph there nearby.
Only one loose end remains. Only one clue that must still be hidden. I am that clue. She must not find me. I too must be lost. Or Ania can read the thoughts from my mind as words upon a page. I will cast the spell from inside, from within the tower. Thus I too shall be sealed within its eyes. Thus I too shall be part of this history.
Then, without another word, he walks away. There are no further memories here. Oh, I'm not sure which choice would be better, because there's still the question marks. The biggest question mark is the Herezar's vision of things objectively the correct one? I think in some cases I don't know if they know because of their natural limitations, their inability to experience the passage of time in any way but from past to the future. As I think we had conversations with the um, in our dreams with what we understood as fate, who seem to imply like uh, the fact that it's sort of predetermined doesn't diminish from the choice. That it's predetermined because she can view all time, so she already knows what the choice you made was. It's no different. Doesn't change the fact that you made a choice, but even if you make a free choice, uh, the event has to happen somehow, and because she views it, she sees the entirety, she already knows how it happened. So there's no conflict between pre-choice and prophecy. The potential conflict only comes from the limited perspective of a mortal. Because if they know already, you see the end result already, so how can there ever have been a choice? But if you're not part of that time, you see all the choices you made. It paints a different picture. So I'm not sure. I guess the act would be basically the only possible way to prove that there's an actual choice to be made, instead of that it's all that you never were able to make a free choice. You have to do something that could not be seen beforehand from Fate's perspective, that can see the whole of time from start to finish. If you are able to do an act that wasn't predestined or prophesied, then you prove without a shadow of a doubt that yeah, you can make those choices. That the choice you just thought, otherwise it's just you'll be always left with the doubt that yeah, I think I'm making a choice, but am I? Because if they already see what I'm going to do, am I really making a choice? I never had the choice to. There was any other choice was never a possibility from that perspective. If I choose the destruction of everything, then yeah, we make actual choices. Because this was not a. It wasn't. Fate would never allow this option. Blind spots. Um, where's where's my henchman? In the center of this giant chamber floats a strange figure. Interact void. It appears non-material, as if a hole was punched in the very fabric of existence. I suppose I'm not sure how are we going to make the choice though?
Yes, hello to you.
Probably need to discuss what we find out.
Is there something you wish?
I think this is just an unnecessary fight that I'm gonna get into Larian, especially since I haven't completed the elemental areas or other areas. So I think I want to complete them at least, and we can tell
We
us
have
what's
no
really at
choice.
stake.
They must be
I would
eliminated.
imagine he wants me to lie to my former self and restore everything. Uh, is the journal any help here? I think it's a choice. Could be that when I go to the dream and face my past self, am I going to tell the lie or am I going to tell the truth? That's the moment of choice. So no matter what, we'll have to complete this. I think this was some heavy, yeah. And it weighs a ton.
I am weighted down too heavily, I fear.
I have placed all the 4 physical essences on the pedestals. Now the gates of the planes of life and death should be opened and allow me entrance. According to Evernorn, I must first obtain the essence of life from the positive plane to the south and then bring it to the negative plane to the north. This was some kind of jungle where you regenerate and return to life, but so does everything else. So it seems like it's gonna be a fairly violent push towards our goal, get it, and then just fight our way out. Holy shit.
Taste of my wrath!
A grizzly bear, mushrooms, invisibility might be useful here. I mean, our goal is to get something instead of fighting against everything. Frost monster. Known for their voracious appetites for all things metal, these insatiable creatures are feared far and wide by adventurers and metalsmiths alike. Yep. And destroy your equipment. Arania Elder. Intelligent shape-shifting spiders with sorceress powers. Arania avoid physical combat, preferring to rely on their webs and spells instead. Yeah. I'll pass. Cobra! Further south, a great swamp extends toward the right. Ah. Sturge Queen. Poker jellies. Jesus Christ, Willow is purple, pink, yellow, green.
Let the earth take you!
They have true seeing or what? Why can't I take a look at them? Yeah, they have true seeing.
Perish as you should! Perish as you should! Let the earth take you!
Crap. Fuck, monster. This massive aberration resembles a squid. Its long tentacles can paralyze with a touch. Well, isn't this gonna be fun? Giant wasps. And here comes the poison. Probably antidotes in some of these. Come on, use it. We're getting a little bit of experience out of these, but not enough really to warrant the fighting. Everything will resurrect here, we have to keep that
Perish
in
as
mind.
you should.
Wasp. Not quite sure where are we supposed to go. Deeper into the forest? No. So you need to use the minimap to see where the actual passable terrain is. As you walk southeast toward a strange glowing crystal, your wounds regenerate at an increasing pace as you approach. I don't recall what I was supposed to do here. Blinding light appears alive. Shield your eyes. You can see through your hand as if your flesh is translucent. Look through your hand. There's something within the light, within its very center. Reach. Your fingers brush against it, filling your heart with an overwhelming sense of vitality. The light emits a brief reddish flicker. Leaving the light. Damage immunity decrease against negative energy. We had some kind of a tool for this life drain. 32 points of damage. Yeah, I forgot about that it affects me in this at the same time.
My injuries are taxing my strength. Please, heal me.
Can't really do anything with it. We can't use it against the living light.
Gods have mercy upon my faith. Gods have mercy upon my faith. Spirit.
Let the earth take you. I am in need of a healer. Quick!
I think think a normal fighting tactic might be better here. We've had a lot of luck with that. Every time I've tried something more complex, it's a mixed bag.
I am in need of a healer. Quickly, I am in need of a healer. Quickly.
My weapons will do no good here.
I don't think I can harm it with this.
My weapons will do no good here.
Yet we are doing damage.
We have no choice.
Living light damage resistance. Yeah, it's he has some kind of shield that keeps I think reapplying,
I need healing. Tend to my wounds.
but it's going down. The light becomes resistant to piercing damage. Oh, that's not expect that. Resistant to fire. Okay, let's go with the magic attack then. Becomes resistant to magical damage. I don't recall how we were supposed to defeat this. It regenerates very quickly. I guess it can't. Maybe it can't regenerate negative energy damage, but it's gonna hurt me too quite a bit. I'm mainly damaging myself with this. No, it took 54 points of damage out of it. So it does seem to work. I think you could just keep shooting and then being revived and shoot again and be revived, shoot again. It's dead. At least for a moment. Sense of life. Raise dead, unlimited use per day.
We'll strike you down, or fall in the attempt.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
My friends, I call on you for help.
I need healing. Tend to my wounds.
Follow me now.
Right, we should be able to travel at least most of the way back home without too much fuss if we're in people. Yeah, they'll revive, but it'll take some time. Hopefully enough that allows us to pass through. Come on, you piece of shit, move forward. I want you to move forward. Ugh, yeah, we're not moving anywhere. Fine. Oh fuck. It's gonna do drowning attack. Cobra! Ugh. Holy shit. A mutant jaguar. Interesting. Seems like we're gonna get some friends here.
You must fall for the greater good.
Ooh, time.
It's time for some pruning.
So it's starting to get a bit hard to say who the
Surrender.
fuck is here fighting.
Prepare to meet your end.
Ooh, there's the rust monster. Shit. I'm not sure how could I lose some really valuable equipment. At the same time, I'm not particularly interested in fighting out. Game doesn't really pull punches in certain sections, so at least that's how it feels. Like with the if you go into the tomb of the ancient lich or things like that. So could certainly happen. I've obtained the essence of life from the positive plane, and I must now bring it to the negative plane of in the north. Try to avoid resting. Survive. This should be a horrible experience overall. Can't use. They're invisible. Well, then we have to rest. We should be constantly losing life while we're in here, but we must press on until the end. Probably suffer attribute losses and things like that. This is not gonna be fun. I can counter it to some extent, but there's no way to get immunity to it. I'd have to be basically a cleric to have that kind of a spell. I have some scrolls, but I don't think anything like that. Undead to dead. Control undead, animate dead. It would have to be something like Undead's Eternal Foe, but I think we had that scroll at some point, but I couldn't have cast it anyway, so it's not about that. Right. Negative plane of death. It's gonna suck. We lost all the icons of life. As you walk northward, you feel your health draining, all your icons of life dissolve. Feel weaker. Your mind feels clouded.
Weighted down too heavily, I fear.
How much more can you take? Yeah, we're losing levels constantly.
Weighted down too heavily, I fear.
Stop.
What is it? Don't go any further. But I must place the essence of life within the hand of death.
No, you cannot. You will die. Nothing can live within that darkness. As soon as you let go of the essence of life, you will perish.
How are we to restore the balance between life and death? Holds out his hand.
Give it to me. I will do this.
But then you will die.
Yes, that is so.
And yet, I must do this.
Arian,
I believe this is what I have always been meant to do. It shall be my final act as your ally, as your friend.
can't let you do this. Too many have already been sacrificed for my cause.
And many more shall perish if you die here now. Only you can restore the balance, Anya. The rest of us cannot do it without you. You know that I speak the truth. I must do this.
I suppose you're right.
Then please,
Holds out his hand again.
please give it to me.
Give him the essence of life. He looks at his hand, aglow with the holy light.
I will not need these things anymore.
The words catch in your throat. He stands and looks you in the eye. You've been such a good friend to me.
As you have to me, Anya. Despite all that has happened, I'm grateful for our friendship.
You've helped me get through such difficult times.
Indeed. We have seen much together, you and I, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
We have traveled through forests and swamps, jungles and deserts. We have scaled mountains and flown through the clouds. We have even traveled over the landscape of dreams, and now we are here at the end of our tale.
I'm sorry to have brought you to this end, my friend.
I know, and yet I harbor no blame for you within my heart. We may be the playthings of fate, but we have always acted with honor.
Yes, yes, we have.
I wish you strength, Ania. May you succeed in restoring balance to this world.
I will do what I can. He nods solemnly. He leans forward to kiss you on the cheek. Thank you for all you have done.
I must be on my way.
May your spirit find peace.
May the blessings of Earth Mother Shantia and the Tree Father Sylvanus be upon you in these dark times.
Thank you, Larian. And goodbye.
Goodbye, my friend.
The essence of life has been brought to the hand of death, and thus the balance between the spiritual elements has been restored. Now only one task remains, to travel into the past and meet with my former self. That is where I shall choose my fate, the fate of all. Don't necessarily have to take everything. I'm more or less interested in things that I currently really don't have, or don't really take space. Where the fuck did he get the full plate +3? Shrug? So now the choice always becomes in are we gonna let
I am
his
weighted down too
sacrificial
heavily, I
act
fear.
go to waste too? Was it his choice to sacrifice himself, or was it always just predestined? There was no choice at all. I think it's a good choice in general. Because it gives weight basically a lot of these events and have give weight to both your choices. And I haven't decided yet which choice I'm gonna take. Suppose it, well, I was about to say I suppose it doesn't matter, but of course it matters. We don't need to put anything anywhere. We restored the balance. Now it's just a matter of going into the past and deciding are you gonna tell her the truth or yeah, the past. One thing left to do.